Hello and namaste. Parents, if your child is between the age group of 6 to 11 years, this video is going to explain the entire curriculum of 3 levels which your child could learn and apply from. So let me tell you about level 1. This level has 7 chapters. The first chapter is about mine and yours. Now, why do we teach children about mine and yours? As the children are young and they are learning to differentiate between what is theirs and what is others, they need to learn to respect other things. That's point number one in mine and yours. Second is to value self and others things. And it is just not about things, it is also about qualities of people and about things. So they learn to differentiate between qualities, people, and things which belong to them and which belong to other. Now, this is where the basic relationship building with money starts happening. Yes. Chapter number 2 is about barter system. Knowingly or unknowingly, children at this age are bartering things. Now, when they are bartering things, parents want children to be careful. They teach them many a things, sometimes bad things too, like don't share your stuff with others. It is not good. Don't share with this kind of people and that kind of people. And they create an impact on the children, which is not really necessary. In this chapter, we deal with questions which the children have in mind, like why should I give? Or why should I take? Why should I share? When should I share? How should I give and how should I take? Even how is equally important. That is the instructions to be given to the other child while you're sharing your things, or the telling the child about I would take care of your things while asking for a certain toy or a gift from the other student or the other child with whom your child is dealing is equally important. What care should I take while exchanging these things is something which the child learns during barter as a chapter. Let's go to chapter number 3, which is free charge, right? The child should understand that nothing is free in the world and the child is responsible for the free things which come even from the nature. And apart from that, if there are certain things which trades provide, which hotels, restaurants, or businesses provide, and they call it free, what does it really mean as free? But also, they need to understand that in relationships, when parents work for children, take care of children, they don't charge money, and that is free. And when things are free and when things are not is a very important understanding which the child needs to learn. So they learn things like what are things that are free and why, how can I care about things that are free, how do we get these not for free things. So these are a few things which are discussed in chapter number 3. Let me go to chapter number 4. It's about giving and receiving gifts. Gifts are a very important thing in the life of a child. The child feels happy when they receive gifts. Do you really want your child just to remember and relate gifts to happiness? Or is there something else you want your child to learn? Do you want your child to receive gifts from anybody and everybody? Or is there some people whom you want your child to be careful while receiving gifts? These are a few important things which we discuss there. I have seen parents being troubled with the concept of return gifts. Yeah. So, do you want your child also to learn about the benefits and the drawbacks of giving and receiving gifts? This is something which we discuss in the chapter number 4, giving and receiving gifts. Then comes tips, giving and receiving tips. What do you mean by tips? How is it different from gifts? And what in the family do you receive tips for? For the routine work, that is something which is your responsibility, or for things which you do beyond your responsibility that you receive tips for? Whom should you receive tips from and whom should you give tips? Is tips equal to bribery? Now, that's an interesting question which even children ask during our discussions in the class. That happens in chapter number 5. Let me go to chapter number 6. In chapter number 6, we are talking about saving money. In saving money, the topic is personal piggy bank, and what do you do with the tips and the gifts which you receive? If you receive something in cash, where do you save, and how many times do you save, and why saving is important is that fundamental thing which we start teaching them to use piggy bank. Final topic, the seventh topic, is about needs and desires. Yes, this is related to that wise spending habits which you wanted your children to build. How do you teach what you should spend on and how much? Teach them the difference between need and desire. Teach them how to make a balance between the purchases you do on needs and the purchases which you do on spendings or desires. Now, when you do that difference between needs and desires, the child becomes wise about his spending. Now, with these seven chapters, the child has learned a lot and now he's going to apply. After every chapter, as I told you in my previous video about the post work, there would be certain activities which the child will be doing. Let me give you a brief about what activities in this level we invite children to do. Activity number one is to discover and respect family members and friends' qualities. Now, what does the child do? The child actually goes to family members and friends, talks to them, and lists down what are the qualities of the parents about other family members and even of friends. And then he compares, he asks them about what qualities do you think are there in me? And he makes a small comparison between his own qualities and the other family members' qualities. Isn't that something which the child should learn as a part of his understanding between mine and yours? Yeah. So that's activity number one, where the child would need your cooperation as well, parents. Let me talk about activity number two, which the child will do. Here, the child will make a process and certain rules of sharing toys, books, and other things with his friends. Do you want your child to do that? Yes. He would learn this in the class and then he would discuss with you. This is the process. These are the steps. These are the rules. This is something which we teach the children as they grow up. This is the right age to inculcate the same process level attitude in the child to do during the barter system part. Let me talk about activity number three, to create a plan about the gifts the child wants to have or wants to give in the whole year. How about planning, right? Money management planning. So this is something which the child would think in future, make a list of the friends whom he wants to give birthday gifts and what gifts he wants to give and what would be the money budget and what he would like to buy for himself or want as a gift which he would like to talk to the parents and make a detailed plan of it. Sounds interesting, isn't it? Don't worry, your child is not going to get overloaded by it, but this is what the child would enjoy doing. Let me talk about activity number four. Here, the child starts using a piggy bank and he starts saving money, which he gets from tips or gifts in cash, which he starts putting in the piggy bank. And that's something is the first step towards forming a habit of saving money. Activity number five is to prepare a wish list of things based on the learnings of needs and desires. And this wish list he may create on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, or yearly basis, depending upon how he looks at it. So he's becoming wise and taking decisions based on needs and desires and balancing his wish list. Do you want your child to do all of this? So enroll your child in level one. This is the fundamental, the foundation course from where the child steps into level two, then level three, and so on. So with this information, I leave the choice to you to decide, would you want your child to take admission and learn this level one, which has 7 chapters and 5 takeaways, which the child will do after learning from these chapters. Thank you and Dhanyavad.